they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Are growing out, and the only way the roots grow out every single day and they grow stronger and they grow better is if that we all water.
What? Well, I'm out, man.
What's up? Welcome to an all-new edition of Chip and Drip here on the AAT Sports Network and AAT Birds. I am Chip, as always, joined by my man, JD Oracle, a.k.a. Oracle, from the D2N Podcast, LLC. We watched the Sixers game. Adam is saying that Niang may have been the issue. I am going to agree, but respectfully decline to say that he was the issue this fine evening.
What up, Matt?
Matt checking in. It wasn't. We weren't on during the game, which is why they lost. Different. Look, as the comments come rolling in, I mean, look. The final score, they lost by 14. The game was not that close.
The game was a lot worse than that score showed. That they scored some baskets in garbage time.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that we're going to have to get into tonight is, at halftime we were actually up, which I think gives you that, that Philadelphia false sense of hope. But when it all comes to, what it comes down to is real simple. This team gave their best shot just to get up one.
Listen, brother. Are you ready to start it? You want to jump into it, or
just jump into it? Because I'm not.
We're gonna talk about other stuff too. We're gonna talk about the Birds too.
We're gonna talk about the NFL draft. We might get into some Phillies talk, but there's things happening in the sports world. But right now, the Sixers are the game. Sixers are the show. So, yeah, Matt says we were up 5 in the third, and then kaboom. I think it's pronounced Tyler Hero.
There's a reason for that. This is why I tell people do not get too up on the Sixers as long as Doc Rivers coaches the team. Mm-hmm. Because Doc Rivers refuses to make any type of adjustments.
Adjustments.
The only adjustment he made was in the first half, and that's not really an adjustment because it happened in the first half. Adjustments happen after halftime. Like going to the zone worked, but then at halftime, Spoelstra made an adjustment, and they came out and they beat the zone. So it's like everybody keeps talking about, it's not Doc's fault. Okay, well, the issue with Doc's fault is that you let Tyler Hero pick you apart. The same way that we watched Herter from Atlanta pick us apart last year with no type of adjustments. Like Tyler Hero's not the most athletic dude in the world. You don't have to, you don't have to put the most athletic person on him, but everybody keeps talking about Maxey and Thibault, and it's like, who is Thibault guarding then? Like, he's not stopping anybody. That's what's his only claim to fame all year has been his defense. Well, where is it? And Doc just keeps him out there. And then tonight he put in Furkan Korkmaz in the regular time.
A lot. Yeah. Furkan played 10 minutes, which is not terrible. He got a couple of his points in junk time for 9 points. My bigger issue is 17 minutes for DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
That can't happen in the playoffs when my man wasn't even a part of the rotation during the regular season. DeAndre Jordan is lucky to be able to walk up and down the court at this point, and that's all the man was doing. At one point, his plus minus was negative 17. His plus minus was negative 17 for his time on the court.
True, but he did catch 2 oops that I thought were pretty cool.
Great, and that was his total of 4 points.
Yeah. They're gonna have trouble because James Harden has definitely lost a step.
It's so obvious.
And the last time I saw him, I saw him make a play. And as me as a Sixer fan, I don't want to give the refs any type of negative credit when it comes to giving our team a call.
No, it was a charge.
Some of those calls, man, they were calling on fouls on James Harden were not blocks. They were legitimately.
They were charges.
There were charges. He was just losing the ball. He looked bad out there, man. Tobias Harris had a good game. So I was really surprised.
Can't hit 30. Still can't hit 30.
Still allergic to 30. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not trying to look on the bright side of things, but if we were going to steal one, it was going to be tonight.
I think for the first time, Tyrese Maxey looked a little tired. Like you could see that he didn't have it in his legs.
Oh yeah, like on some of the
it was so many. No, the jump shots, right? So many of his jump shots were short.
But he normally his floater is pretty
right.
good, but his like legs were gone. Like he got to the middle, penetrating, and he got stopped. If he wasn't going straight full speed ahead, stopping and starting was not helping him tonight. And that's just a sign of fatigue, and it's just putting a lot of wear and tear on your legs. I don't know what they're going to be able to do between now and game 3 when they're going to, get Joel supposedly back. And then we don't know what version of Joel we're going to get.
Yeah, I'm saying you think Embiid is coming back game 3 or game 4. I don't know. I mean, the broken orbital fracture you can kind of come back from. You'll mask him up again, but it's on the other eye now. You'll mask him up.
But I'm saying he's had 2.
Right. I would like to say that the guy can't catch a break, but that seems to be all that he does catch is breaks. Too soon?
Too soon.
But my bigger concern is the concussion because, the orbital fracture, they're saying it's like a 3 to 6 week injury. We don't have that. This team without Joel Embiid doesn't – I think they make the playoffs, but they're in the play-in tournament. This team without Joel Embiid, they don't beat Miami. I mean, think about it. Miami,
they don't win one game.
They don't win one game. And I want to think about this for a second. They held Jimmy Butler to 15 points.
And they let Tyler Hero get off.
Tyler Hero went off for 25. Bam went off for 24. PJ Tucker dropped 8. Thanks for that. Oladipo was held to 5. And they didn't even play a minute for Duncan Robinson.
This team is still concerning. Yeah, that's concerning as a Sixer fan. That Duncan Robinson saw no action from the 3-point line, and they were still able to get up by 14 on us. There'll be some people say, "Oh well, JD, just it's the first game." No, this was our best chance of stealing the game. There, we don't have a chance to steal a game in game 2. They're gonna know. Jimmy looks like he wasn't really that potent tonight. He looked like he was kind of somewhere else.
He's still coming off that injury though, so he was kind of. And that's the other thing. Kyle Lowry didn't even play.
No, they didn't even.
So you're not even taking their best hits yet.
Yeah, we're not taking their floor general who's commanding the floor. They're turning the ball over just as much as we are. So it looks like really bad basketball at some points in the game. But then Spoelstra just brings it in. Like Doc's just being outcoached in this one, and that's what it really shows me. Like the small ball was working. Like with them going small, they should have stayed small. Should have ran the ball, but they didn't have enough legs to continue for a long period of time. And that's not Doc's fault, but Doc should recognize that and go slow the ball down for a minute or get those guys some fresh legs. It's just the rotation has been so Embiid heavy all year that these guys didn't really learn how to play without him. And it's evident now that you're looking at this game. Like they don't look like they know what they're doing. They don't know who the leader is. And the person that they got as the leader, he can't seem to get his shit together. So we just got a whole bunch of stuff going on.
I mean, I don't understand how we can be so reliant on James Harden, right? When since coming over here, what is his highest point total as a Sixer? Do you know off the top of your head without me Googling it?
I think it's like 35 or something. I mean, it's been in the 30s. He might have scored 40 once, but it's not been very, it has
32. 32.
I mean, it hasn't been anything where, it's going to stop. It's not going to make me stop what I'm doing and be like, oh, that's nice. Like James Harden has been a shell of himself since Brooklyn. And he came over here really, really hot, red hot, playing really heavy, really fast to go, getting out in transition. It helped Maxey get himself going. But I don't know if this James Harden version that we have is who we thought we were getting. I just think we thought that we were still getting Houston James Harden that could go.
Houston who can drop 50, right?
Yeah. And it's just like it was evident tonight that that's not the James Harden we have now. And even when you take the training wheels off James Harden, he's still not scary like he used to be. And it sucks that because we watch all players go through it. You know what I'm saying? We watch all players age.
Everyone hits that peak, right?
Yeah.
And then starts the decline. I feel, and I kind of said this. So last season when there was all the conversation about even trading Ben Simmons for James Harden. And I said no at the time. Where I was like, no. I don't think we're ready for that yet. Because I'd rather take a young Ben Simmons than an old James Harden. Now, a year later, when Ben Simmons won't, he's allergic to the court at this point. At least we got some production. But James Harden, he looks old. He looks tired. He looks slow. And the other thing that you saw, especially tonight, is when we found something working, like the drive was working. You driving in was working.
Right.
So then why start settling for jump shots?
It's like
we're not a jump shot team.
I know, man. It gets you to a point where you just kind of start wondering to yourself, like, how many more different times will we put ourselves in a situation, or how many times will we trust Doc to get us out of the situation? I don't foresee it ever being where I can trust Doc. I don't trust him with the lead. I don't trust him not with the lead. I just don't trust him at this point. And then he gets so mad at the media for even questioning the shit that he does. So it pisses me off. So now, like, I'm already disliking him, and then he goes in and they ask him a question, and he gives a smart aleck answer, like, why was Joel in there with 4 minutes to go? And he said, well, you're up by 29. He said, well, we're up by 27. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, I was trying to get him out. And I was like, come on, bro.
No, you weren't.
He was out. He should have been out 4 possessions before that.
Hold on. I want to find that, because I started some crap when I found that lovely when he came up with that quote. Let me see if I can find it right quick, because it really pissed me off. And then
on top of it, all these teams they're getting hot at the right time. If you look over on the West Coast right now, Phoenix is playing and they're getting hot. It just seems like everybody's getting high, man. Like,
This is the crap that pisses me off.
I'm ready. Play it. Play the beautiful beat.
4 minutes left. 29 points. Well, it wasn't 4 minutes left and 29 points. 21. He scored the bucket to make it 29. And
let's stop him there.
Yeah.
It wasn't 4 minutes left and it wasn't 20. He scored the bucket to make it 29. Okay. So it was 27. Let's continue.
In the playoffs, just so everyone knows, so we cannot talk about playing and talk about winning this next series. I'm about to answer that, all right? Because everyone was in. The other team had all their guys in too. The last 5 minutes of the game, we made the run the last minute of that game. Right before that, that's when we got up 29.
It was 4 minutes left.
There's 4 minutes on the clock. They're up 29.
I'm calling a timeout on the next possession. So, not upset that he was in. You can make that a big deal if you want, but just go and look at every team in every game, and their guys are in.
And they had their guys in because they were losing. They were trying to come back.
Yeah. I've done this a long time.
Oh, here we go.
Just go back and look at every game's last game. And I guarantee both teams have their guys in at that point. We had just made the run to put it up to 29.
You have to say to yourself,
yeah, all the time. On plays. I drew up the greatest play in the world.
Can you pop some of these comments up?
I'm going to.
I wish I had someone else shoot that. Unfortunately, in coaching, you can't wait 24 hours to make a decision.
Oh, man. Let me throw that one up for Matt.
Which one would you like me to start with?
Start with Matt's.
Okay.
Yo.
In Doc's defense, we are terrible at holding leads, even 29-27. But you're right. You're right, which on its own is a fireable offense.
But what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is with 27 or 29 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, not going in the half, with the fourth quarter, do you think that somebody's going to score 27 points on you in a matter of 3 minutes or 28 to win? They're not. Even if they come back on a run with 4 minutes left, there's not enough timeouts and not enough playing left in the game. There's not enough time left. So,
and on top of that, there's even if you're going to sneak these other guys, like you sit Joel Embiid, you sit any of these guys. All right, so then they go on a run and they cut it to 15. First off, as you said, there's not enough time. But it's not like Joel Embiid can't come back in for the last 2 minutes of the game at that point. He's not like cooled down.
Nah, and my thing is with this, now this screwed you up for the next series. So let's say you take
this ended your season.
Yeah, this pretty much will end it. Especially if Joel doesn't come back. He comes back with some type of anything lingering with this concussion. It's gonna be bad. Like, listen, guys, I understand everybody's wants to take up for Doc Rivers because you guys had Brett Brown for so long.
Not me.
He's not much better than that. Like the giving up the leads, the 3-1 lead, giving up. Like, he shouldn't even been in that game, to be honest with you, had he done what he was supposed to do early in
any of the
series.
other earlier games, for sure.
Yeah, they would have never gotten to this point. So we're always talking about, oh, well, so-and-so is a good coach. Well, what makes Doc so good? And nobody can seem to tell me. Nobody. Anytime I ask somebody, nobody can seem to tell me what makes Doc so good. Okay, he's better than Brett Brown. Okay, great. There was 31 other coaches that were better than Brett Brown when Brett Brown was coaching. So that's not telling me much. I need some reason why. And now Javier is saying the Heat will destroy us. They're going to destroy us.
Listen, let's be clear about this, right? This was going to be a tough series regardless of if you had a healthy Embiid or not. Right? This Heat team, by adding Kyle Lowry to a team that already had Jimmy Butler and made a finals run with just Jimmy Butler, let's call it like it is, now have bona fide superstar shooters in Hero and Robinson. They add a stud, one of the greatest point guards in the NBA in Kyle Lowry. Bam is settling into himself. I love how they refer to him as a former all-star. Kid's young as hell. This team is loaded top to bottom. This was going to be a tough matchup for us because the Sixers had Joel Embiid and friends.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about it is, even if you line up the stars, right? We don't have anybody on our bench to come in like Tyler Hero comes in, and like they got guys that come in and score. Like, that's such a refreshing thing.
PJ Tucker got 10 points tonight.
PJ Tucker can't those side threes. Like, that dude looks for the corner. It's the funniest thing ever. He'll be on like having a layup and he'll look for the corner and he'll just go shoot a three.
Yeah, listen, it's the Danny Green move.
It's like all old players got their spot, so that's exactly where they go to when it's time to shoot. And yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm all these are. I said it again. I said it before. Overrated.
He's overrated.
Coach. Yeah, he's overrated. And it's
here's the thing. I don't know who you get that's better. I don't know who you get that's better. But at this point, you've maxed out your potential on what this team can be with Doc Rivers at the helm. You know what I mean? This isn't a team that LeBron just goes out there and you just have a figurehead at the head coach position. It doesn't matter who it is. You know, LeBron is the coach of that team. That's not what this is. You need a coach to put all the pieces together. He doesn't run an offense. He doesn't commit to anything. He doesn't make adjustments. He says, go and play. And then he puts guys like DeAndre Jordan on the court for a stupid amount of time. He puts Niang on the court for a stupid amount of time. He doesn't play Milton as much as he should tonight. Like, his lineup, his rotation made no sense, and they had time to plan for this game.
So, and you said the one thing about he doesn't commit. He does commit, but he overtly commits. Like, he refuses to change anything. And that's my only, after everything you said, that's the only thing I will like debate of that. He only like, he's like the guy who will only have one plan. He won't make a backup plan because he's not loyal to a backup plan because the original plan is going to work. Like, I don't understand the guy. I have never understood him. I don't even understand like how like he became this coach that we like just, you know, we just have him so high. Like, two of the franchises that he coached, which was the Celtics and the Clippers, already had really good teams. Like, they already were really good. He coached Lob City.
Yeah.
So he coached Lob City. Then he goes to Boston. Then he comes back and coaches Kawhi and Paul George, if I'm not mistaken. And they lose.
Yep.
And so then he ends up with the Sixers. They can't make it out of the second round. So what makes us better or worse than the years? The Brett Brown years?
Nothing. We just have more developed superstars now. But they can't. I mean, this is turning into like the Sacramento Kings and all that stuff. Those guys who never won a title. You know, we have Joel Embiid's potential is being wasted. And yeah, he can't stay on the court. He's injured. I mean, that's problematic. And you have to make adjustments for that. And Javier, I agree. When they made that trade and they got rid of Curry and they got rid of Drummond, that was it for me. Because you gave up. Drummond was the perfect backup. The perfect backup for Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Then Adam saying Millsap shouldn't have been out there. That's another guy we acquired in this trade.
And did nothing with him.
Did nothing with him. The guy has played maybe 7 minutes all year.
Played 6 minutes tonight.
Listen, that's terrible. So it's just like, to me, it's like, I hate doing this. Damn, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna do it though. It's gonna make everybody mad. I'm sorry, guys. All my 76er and Eagles fans, you're gonna hate me for this. I'm going to tell you now. I'm starting to feel like Joel may be Carson Wentz with accountability.
Okay, go into some detail.
He's accountable. He will say, I did this wrong. I'll get better. He will get better. He'll take accountability for his actions. But his best ability that we need him is his availability. And when we really need him the most, he's just not there. Like, he's physically not there. And the same things, like when Carson Wentz was at his best in Philly, he was an MVP, right? But it's just like the nagging injuries. And like, I hate saying it because I think that Joel's a better person than Carson. I think he's a warrior.
And I think he buys into the mindset, and he is a legitimate MVP candidate every year.
Right.
But when push comes to shove, these playoffs, but you also have to think about it. Like, this season, he committed to playing as much as humanly possible.
Right. For sure.
Simply because
I won't take it away from him.
Because he's like, all right, I got to be on the court. I got to lead my team. And he had runs that were unheard of statistically. And he's the NBA scoring leader, and he should win the MVP, even though we know he's not going to. But he's not going to get that ring if he is 100% of the offense.
And
he's just not.
And that's kind of the same parallel with Carson, because everybody put everything on Carson. When Carson was first in his 2017, the year of the championship, he comes back and he puts everything on his back, and he gets hurt trying to play all the way through it. And as much as I hate doing this, because Joel is a way better player. So before anybody stone me, he's a way better player. But I think in the same right, they want to do so much that is the reason why they end up getting hurt. And Joel has been kind of plagued by injuries, little nagging things here and there. He hasn't broken his leg or anything like that, or torn his ACL. But they said that this year was the most games he's played, and it was like 68. Well, he's been in the league like 9 years or something, or 7 years or something crazy. So he's been in the league quite some time. To only his best season of only played 68 games or something,
and it was dominant. It was a dominant 68 games.
Super dominant. I'm not taking that away from him. I just know I got a feeling that everybody was talking about, Joel possibly having this window. Well, this is why they say he's got a window, because
he does have a window for absolute certainty.
Yeah, he's got a window. So we got to maximize this window that we have with him, because before you know, he could end up looking like James Harden.
Now, before we know it, he could look like this. DeAndre Jordan tonight in 17 minutes was at a minus 22. He had 2 rebounds. When he was on the bench, the Sixers were plus 8.
Oh, it's funny how we talked up Wentz. Carlito Wentz.
Because literally DeAndre Jordan hurt this team. And I was one of the biggest advocates after trading Drummond and went, all right, you got to go out and get DeAndre Jordan, because at this point, you need the backup center, and he's the closest to what you had.
He was the only thing on the market. And
he was the only thing on the market.
They put in Paul Reed tonight, and I was just like, this kid can – if this is the future, we're screwed.
It's not even that we're screwed. It's that he hasn't had the minutes all season. So to put him in this situation where he needed to play much better than he did is an unfair assessment of what he really is. You know what I mean? Like, he's been on the bench most of the season. And now in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals, you're like, all right, Paul Reed, now's your time. He's like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I don't have the experience.
Yeah,
that's not a fair assessment of him. He does not have the players' minutes.
This makes my head hurt. Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about something else. The NFL draft was this past weekend. The Philadelphia Eagles did some things. I personally, the homer that I am, I think the Philadelphia Eagles won the draft this past weekend.
I think 90% of people who watch the draft and have eyeballs and know the players would say that the Eagles won the draft.
You know, and you can sneak in the fact that like the Jets
Stop it,
maybe.
y'all. Stop it.
We're gonna get. We getting there, Matt. We getting there, Matt. And we can say like the Jets. The Jets unquestionably had a great draft, but the Jets are still going to jet. The Ravens had a great draft. The Ravens are still. I mean, they're gonna just draft defense, and now Kyle Hamilton's going to wear a gold jacket because he's on the Ravens. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. He wouldn't anywhere else. But y'all, let's focus on you for a second, JD.
You're a jerk, bro.
How do you feel about the pick that everyone knew was going to happen?
I thought
Kenny
it was
Pickett
Malik
is
Willis.
your QB of the future. No.
I thought it was Malik Willis, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went into the weekend. I went into the draft saying if Malik Willis is there, they're gonna take him, right? I just say they're gonna take him. But then when whatchamacallit didn't take a quarterback early in the draft at like 6, I said, "Oh shit, Kenny Pickett's there. Kenny Pickett's trash too because they didn't take him at 6. So then he was still nobody took him at any of the other ones, and then they got all the way to us, and I was like, I just remember saying to my wife, I was like, man, they're gonna take Kenny Pickett because he played at Pitt, and I was like, and that's gonna be the worst decision we've ever made as a franchise. And you know why I say that?
Why?
You know why I say that? Because Kenny Pickett is exactly like, stop it, Adam. You're on drugs, and it's because he's the same guys that we already just went and got from the Buffalo Bills. I looked up some footage. I'm dropping a video tomorrow. It's gonna be Trubisky matched up against Kenny Pickett. They're the same dude. They're the same freaking dude.
Yeah.
They're the same freaking dude. Like there's nothing much about them. They're both overrated. They said they didn't want to make a mistake and miss out on the next damn arena like they did way back when. Well, I got this to tell you. This dude ain't the only thing that this dude is famous for is that he tried to go for a slide and faked everybody out and ran a touchdown, which is actually kind of crappy to be honest with you because he should have got his head knocked off.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great. Look, I think that a lot of the picks that happened didn't surprise me because they were the picks that kind of just made sense. You know what I mean? Like to have Kenny Pickett, who's Mr. Pittsburgh, end up in Pittsburgh makes sense to me. With that being said, this quarterback draft class was terrible. This quarterback draft class was terrible.
I want you to apologize. Just like Javier is doing down here. Please apologize.
Oh, Howie had an incredible draft. Howie had an absolutely incredible draft.
He's had incredible last few drafts. You guys didn't like it.
He has.
So now looking back on it, Jalen Hurts was actually the best pick one of the better picks that he's had.
Well, the jury's still out on him. We don't know.
He's better off than Carson Wentz, so he's
better off than Carson Wentz. And the fact of the matter is, now he got what he wanted. He got his dream toy, and now we're gonna see some things.
I mean, I went back and looked at some stuff from Alabama when he had like a big receiver and a speed receiver. The dude only lost one game that year. Dude is, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. The dude got weapons all over the place. Like it's no excuse for Jalen Hurts. He really has to step up the game. Like,
so I found this. I want to talk about this, right? So this is from Pro Football Impact. This is the 2022 draft takeaways. So first, for the entire NFL, we knew it was a bad quarterback class, but that was a little overboard. Okay. The fact that, Matt Corral falls all the way to the Commanders in the 5th round, the 6th round, I forget where he actually ended up going.
You're not going to the Commanders?
Not Corral. Sam Howell went to the Commanders. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he went that dude went to the Titans. No, the Titans. That's where
the Titans, yeah.
The Titans, yeah. Where did Willis end up?
The Falcons? No, that was Ritter. Where the hell did he end up? Hold on.
I just would like you guys to know. I'm gonna throw this out there right now. The first Eagles jersey I will be getting. I bet you don't know what jersey that's gonna be.
Is it AJ Brown?
No. Think about the names of people who just came to the team. What jersey do you think I'm getting for my first jersey ever? Oh, Javier says Davis. Close, but no cigar. I do
what
love
do you got?
Davis.
Tell me.
I have me getting the Kelly Green Dean jersey because that is my last name. And my wife. Remember date night with the Deans?
Date night with the Deans. Yeah, Corral went to the Panthers.
Ooh, nice.
I'm just scrolling through some of these other things, and then we'll continue. We'll go back to this list.
You said the Clemson guy they picked up after the draft. Who they pick up after the draft? Because Justin Ross went to Kansas City.
Yes, yeah. And that's the thing. There were so many of these players that were because there was an extra amount of NFL of college players because of the opt-out year. So a lot of these guys that would have been taken ended up not getting taken, and it was crazy. Where the hell did dude end up?
Matt, who are you talking about? The Clemson player that went after the draft? Because I'm really interested. Because if it was, because I know Andre Booth went to somebody. I think he went during the draft. Unless it was a linebacker. Goodrich. Oh, Mario Goodrich. Yeah, Mario Goodrich is a great corner.
Oh, yeah.
Mario,
so you're getting into a Kobe Dean jersey, of course.
Yeah, so I'm getting in the Kobe Dean jersey, and I didn't remember the Kobe the Goodrich thing because they also the Kansas City signed our Justin Ross, who's like our stud receiver from back when we won the national championship against Alabama. So
Willis went to the Titans. Sorry,
Willis. Okay,
he went to the Titans. We were right. 10 minutes ago, we were right.
Okay, cool. So now I feel like. Listen.
So let's keep going through this, right? So we knew the quarterback draft class was bad. I was shocked there wasn't a run on quarterbacks. I was shocked that only Pickett went in the first round. But everybody realized that this draft class is terrible for quarterbacks. The edge rushers were great. There was the run on wide receivers. I think Jahan Dotson went way higher than he should have. But hey, maybe Washington knows something that we don't.
Dotson's the man, bro.
Dotson's incredible. I just didn't think he was a top 20 pick.
I mean, you got to think about because so this one I meant to bring this up. Every year when there's not a lot of quarterbacks, the value is automatically on receivers. There's not a lot of quarterbacks. So when you start looking at it, okay, well, there's not a lot of quarterbacks. So replace those quarterback spots now with other skill position offensive players. Okay, not a lot of running backs in the draft. Okay, boom, automatically receivers. So you had a bunch of receivers and a bunch of defensive pass rushers. And you had some offensive linemen in there as well. Because, now people are starting to see the value in drafting offensive linemen that are going to be studs because they're going to play off in the long run.
Yeah.
My thought process is with this is that the run on receivers did push those quarterbacks who are on the bubble right out of the door.
And no one predicted the way the draft was shaking out.
No.
The fact that Nakobe Dean was available in the third round is shocking.
The receiver run, I'm telling you, the receiver run screwed everybody because we knew how much value there was. We knew how many great receivers there were in this, but I don't think we really, really understood that. Like, even with us, we ended up getting the kid from Georgia. We ended up getting a kid from Georgia at receiver, and I'm like, that's not a bad pickup. But at the same time, I wanted Malik Willis. You know what I'm saying? Then they grabbed Cam Hayward's little brother at tight end. Like, we don't have enough damn tight ends.
Yeah.
I'm done.
No, and so, I mean, just looking at the rest of this list, I thought was interesting. I personally feel that the Patriots had one of the worst drafts in the history of the NFL draft. And this says Bill Belichick seems to get progressively worse at drafting. But dude still wins games and sneaks people into the playoffs, so who knows? They have the Eagles, A.J. Brown, Davis, Dean. Philly is the most improved team after the draft. I don't think you can disagree with that. Ravens with another great draft. Excellent picks, good trade value. Again, agreed. I like this one at the bottom. It says Corral, Ritter, Willis now don't have the pressure to be the guy.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Because Corral, who went to the Panthers, there's still Sam Darnold over there.
Yeah.
Ritter goes to Atlanta, where they just got Mariota, and they can run the similar style of offense, so that's big. Willis going to Tennessee. Tannehill's the guy, but we know he can't win the game, so they have time to learn. The difference between a first and a second-round pick, and a first-round pick, you're expected to contribute immediately by the end of your first year. Now you don't have to because these guys are second-round or later. Pickett needs to be a starter by the end of the season now.
I'm going to be honest with you, brother. It doesn't matter if Pickett starts. It doesn't matter if Willis starts, Ritter starts, or Corral starts. Because all the franchise they're going to already have a guy in front of them.
That's what I'm saying. They each have somebody in front of them so they don't have the pressure to be the guy. I mean, hell, even Sam Howell gets to learn behind Carson Wentz for a year.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, none of these guys have real pressure. I mean, there's not real pressure. And they all have great running backs, it looks like. Willis, he's got King Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Pickett has Najee Harris.
And
Ritter,
a coach that wants to throw the ball 55 times a game.
Yeah, Ritter is in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Ritter's got one of those running backs.
He's got Cordell Patterson, and Mike Davis just posted something weird on Twitter thanking the fans for stuff. So I don't know if that's something to watch for, that Mike Davis might not be in Atlanta anymore.
Either way, it'll still be running back by committee.
Right, for sure.
So he wanted to do everything, as well as just to throw this out there. Corral, you told me Corral was going somewhere too.
Corral went to Carolina, where you have an injured Christian McCaffrey.
But he's not injured now. He's good now.
He's always injured. I will never take him again as the number one overall pick in a fantasy draft.
I don't think
I got burned bad.
I think Christian McCaffrey still has a lot of value. He still has a lot of years to play. It's just that he's got to get rid of this injury bug, man. Until he does, and they figure out how to use him less, or he can stay healthier. He's gonna be that guy that's kind of a bust almost. Like him and Saquon, they just never lived up to what they were supposed to be.
Yeah,
and I don't really think they ever kind of will, because now the next wave is in there. Like the Najee Harris is, of course, King Henry. You got Deebo Samuel. You got all these younger guys that are really tearing the league up. And so it's just like, I don't know, guys. It may get weird here in a little bit. And then Taylor over at Indy. So they got some guys, some young guys who can really go. And then you got to think about Josh Jacobs is still there.
Mm-hmm.
He's still there.
Javier, I agree. Yeah, he's not a top 10 pick until further notice. He needs a season and a half of staying healthy before people do it. Says Seattle must have had their eyes on Baker. Yeah, that's realistic, because you cannot roll into the season with what they have in the quarterback room right now. You just can't do it.
Well, did they pick up Baker today?
Not today, no.
Okay, well that's still a thing. Other than Balake, nobody.
You want to go to war, Balake?
Nobody had Walker as the number one.
Yo, I cannot believe that Aiden Hutchinson went too. Cannot believe it.
Listen, can we throw this out there, bro?
Yeah.
I don't know what Doug is fucking doing.
No one ever knows what Doug is doing.
I'm actually starting to think that Doug was the reason that some of these picks was off the wall now. Like I'm thinking
listen, I don't know, but I can tell you flat out that Doug Peterson, look, I'm not saying that Walker is going to be a bad prospect, but you passed on Aiden Hutchinson, who is almost a surefire NFL success.
That's not the kid from Detroit, right?
Michigan, yeah. And he went to Detroit. A lot of the hometown stuff.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. Aiden's going to be trash. Like, I know
I disagree. I think
I watch the kid play a lot, and I just don't. He's not Bosa. He's not none of these. He's not none of these guys. So, like, that makes me believe, in my mind, he's not going to. He's going to remind me of. Remember the guy used to play for the Cowboys that used to wear the damn neck roll, that he was good when he first came in, but now he's like, nobody talks about him.
You ain't talking about Sean Lee, are you? Or Leighton Vander Esch?
Oh, either one. Either one.
So Sean Lee was one of my favorite players, but I hated him because he was a Cowboy. But I loved watching Sean Lee play football.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Something must be going down today, man. We're agreeing.
Yeah, Matt and I are usually on the same page. I don't know what's up with Matt today, but it's cool.
Listen,
people don't forget.
I'm just saying this. I'm just gonna throw this out there and I'm gonna be done with it. If you look at Van Der Esch, how he came in highly touted, how Lee came in highly touted, this is that same thing. Like you can't. They passed on Kayvon. I think Kayvon Thibodeau is gonna have a monster year.
Agreed. The fact that he fell was shocking.
I think he's gonna have a monster year. I think he honestly was He was the number. And you know what's crazy? It's Jordan.
He was for a while though. He was the number one pick for a while.
And something about his 40 or something they didn't like. But I will tell you this: Jordan Davis is going to be an absolute monster.
Yep.
If you pair him with Fletcher Cox and Fletcher Cox can give him his work ethic, they said the same thing about the kid that plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Edwards. They said Anthony Edwards really. They said he really didn't want to. He really didn't want to play basketball. That wasn't his thing. Well, he's doing just fine in the damn NBA. So all that stuff about him being lazy, just like they're saying Davis is lazy.
What I liked so much about this draft for the Eagles is that, they got people that are going to contribute real damn quick. Like Nakobe Dean was a first-round grade that we've stolen the third round. We got Juergens, who people aren't very high on, but at the same time, Jason Kelsey flat out went and said, this is the guy that's going to replace me. So I trust Jordan Davis to learn from Fletcher Cox. I trust Cam Juergens to learn from Jason Kelsey. I trust Nakobe Dean to be on the field as a linebacker this season. Our 3 picks there, not to mention you basically have to add in the first-round pick of
A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw that hit my ticker, bro, I wanted to call you immediately. You know what I'm saying? I just like, I wanted to have that conversation with you, but I just think I kind of knew it was coming when I saw that video that Jalen had posted with him working out with, A.J. Brown a week before the draft. And I was just kind of thinking to myself, like something is brewing. Like normally players that don't play on the same team don't work out like that together and then post it. So there's a reason why they're posting it. And it was kind of like, now seeing his his press conference today, I feel like this is a great opportunity for them. I think A.J. Brown needs a reset button. He was clearly the best receiver in Tennessee, even with Julio there. So
and Ryan Tannehill throwing him the ball. So that's the only thing to me. It's like you haven't improved as far as who's throwing you the ball as far as the quarterback play, but at least now you get to play with your buddy.
Now you play with your buddy, and on top of
and Tannehill's ceiling was already met.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts can continue to grow.
And you got to think about it. They played that game with a run-heavy, really run-heavy team. And A.J. Brown was still able to get his man. So I don't think it'd be any different with this Eagles team. The main concern for Eagles this year is going to be the health of Miles Sanders. I don't know if Miles Sanders he hasn't been healthy yet. So like with him not staying healthy, you really don't have and he was pretty high on his arm.
Yeah, but remember, he had a lot of mental problems in Tennessee. So let's see it actually develop first.
No, he didn't have mental issues in Tennessee. He didn't want to play in Tennessee. There's a big difference. So I'm thinking with this is I don't know if let me say this. I got a friend of a friend that does quarterback training for he's like one of the quarterback gurus. His name Ramon. What is Ramon's last name? Ramon Robinson. He's basically like a quarterback guru. He worked with like Donovan McNabb and all them. He literally told me 2 days ago that Jalen Hurts is throwing an amazing deep ball.
Okay, let's go.
So he seems to be very high up on him. He worked with Donovan McNabb, so I trust his eyes. And I have been kind of big on Jalen Hurts working on this game because I think you can learn how to throw the ball. As long as you can, you got the strength to throw it, I think you can learn how to throw it. And I think he has the arm strength because he's strong as an ox. He just has to now learn how to control. He's
dedicated to fixing whatever his issues are too, and that's going to be big as we move on.
I just think he's the right guy for the job. And I know a lot of people are going to say, I'm crazy, but I said
no. I think that this year is the prove it year. I think that this year is the year where you're like, okay, fine. We got a healthy offensive line for a second straight year. You're playing under the same guy for a second straight year. You've got the running backs. Hopefully they stay healthy. You've got the best wide receiver class you've ever played with. Jalen Reagor is now the 6th best wide receiver on this team.
Oh yeah. I mean, and then he asked for a trade. I'm like,
No, bye.
who do you
Bye.
think is gonna give up? Like, what do you think somebody's gonna need to give up?
Bye.
Somebody,
he needs to change the scene. There's no question.
He said, was Williams never an option if Detroit didn't move up? Just seeing how things played out with Brown. I don't think so. For this, Javier, I'm thinking that Williams was never a really, because you got to think whoever wanted Jameson Williams, if I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. If whoever wanted Jameson Williams wanted him, they were willing to jump to get him.
Yeah.
And they were probably going to jump because they needed a receiver that bad. And just think about it. Jameson Williams wouldn't have fit on this team because you already got Jameson Williams when you got Devontae Smith.
Yep.
They're the same.
You needed
guy.
a proven wide receiver at that point.
Yeah. You needed a guy who could get off the line. You needed a guy who wouldn't have trouble, breaking off the line when they started getting physical and they started jamming, because you already got Devontae who's having to play outside receiver, but early in the season he couldn't stay in bounds once they jammed him.
He got just jammed right out of bounds.
He got jammed out of bounds, so then he's out of play. So now you got a three wide set when you're really supposed to have a 4 wide set. Just thought processes behind that. I think AJ Brown makes you automatically more aggressive because
he's a proven NFL wide receiver too. That's the other thing. It's not like another part of the learning curve. He's a proven NFL wide receiver. That's huge.
2 speed guys on the outside, Quez and you got Quez and you got Devontae Smith, who both will be bigger and stronger. And like let's say, and now that what's called is the 5th option, Rager, he may be able to do something. There's no pressure on him. There's no pressure to do shit. So maybe he will catch the ball.
Nope. I didn't realize we were transitioning into shenanigans, but here we go. Because what you just said was pure shenanigans.
It wasn't though.
Jalen Rager cannot be a part of this team. He needs to change the scene. The Eagles need to cut our ties. They need to be done with it.
I know, but if you're gonna cut your ties with Rager, then you need to cut your ties with J-Jaw.
Well, now he's playing tight end.
No, it doesn't matter where he's playing. He's gonna be playing tight end on the bench.
Listen, J-Jaw will not make this team. I'm willing to make that prediction right now on May 2nd. J-Jaw will not make this team as a tight end.
I think he will, because there's 4 tight end spots and you only got 3 tight ends. Because we have 3.
We have Goddard. We have Dick Rod. We have
who'd you say?
Dick Rod.
Who is Dick Rod?
Richard Rodgers.
I never heard of that guy. I think he got cut, but yeah, go ahead.
Nah. And we got Grant Calcaterra in the draft. And Jack Stoll. There's 4 right there.
No, you got the new kid, Jackson. Is on kid Jackson.
And Tyree Jackson. That's 5.
Tyree Jackson.
Now, Tyree Jackson's probably going to miss the season because he tore his ACL in week 17.
He did what?
He tore his ACL in week 17.
Did not remember that.
Yeah. In the mop-up game, yeah. Against
the Cowboys.
Yeah, but again, I just listed 5 tight ends without even mentioning J-Jaw.
J-Jaw. I love that guy.
And Javier says you can have him on the Steelers. So, there you go.
I take him. We turned 3rd round picks into gold, baby. Look, watch us. Watch what we do.
All right, you ready for some shenanigans?
Yeah, I'm always for it.
All right, here's shenanigan number 1. Which 2 are you keeping on the NBA roster? The other 4 get cut.
Damn, this is easy. I'm gonna take the 2 Hall of Famers for sure. See, I did that. You don't know which ones now. I'm gonna take KG and Tim Duncan. Period. And I would have taken Dirk before I would have took Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, or Chris Webber, because none of them got rings, so they don't know how to damn win.
So I think that you have to take Tim Duncan, who is the greatest power forward to ever play the game. Okay. So that's for starters. I think you can bypass Barkley and Webber because similar players who kind of never really amounted to what they needed to. The other 3 each were dominant with what they did.
Okay.
So for me, as someone who appreciates shooters, I'm taking, because I've got Tim Duncan underneath, I'm taking Dirk.
Wow. That's rough, man. I'm gonna take Kevin Garnett because of his defensive prowess. His defensive player of the year a couple times.
Yeah, but you get a lot of the defense because of Tim Duncan.
Yeah, but I don't think I would with those 2, I wouldn't you don't lose if you got those 2. Like you really don't. They're both 7 feet tall. They both can shoot the ball.
Thank you, Matt. Glad we're back on the same page.
Listen, I'll give you Dirk. I just don't think Dirk can guard a parked car.
I don't need him to because Tim Duncan's underneath. I need Dirk to shoot lights out.
And that may
Javier
happen.
is messing with everybody and saying Tim Duncan and Karl Malone.
Wow.
You remember all those Mad TV with Ari Spears doing the, I'm Karl Malone and I'm Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. I just don't know if I don't know. I just don't know if I could I don't know if I could pass up on KG. KG's so intense. Like you needed to have him on your team. Like he's that good.
All right. Shenanigan number 2. And we haven't been able to do shenanigans in a while. So this is one of my absolute favorite shenanigans. This is a tweet from J.R. Smith.
Oh, I love this guy.
J.R. Smith went back to college. He's now a Division I golfer. J.R. Smith, who had played in the NBA. He wrote, if I'm being honest at all, what?
And he's actually really good.
Yeah. Well, he wrote on April 26th, he goes, if I'm being honest at all, I was terrified to go back to school. Literally, these assignments still make my hands sweat, overcoming these fears of. So he made the honor roll. He was the student athlete of the year at his school. And he misspelled terrified.
Well, he tells like if you know what his disability is, that makes you can't laugh at him now. We can't make jokes. We can't.
I know we can't laugh at him, and I'm a middle school teacher, so I understand that. It's just the timing of what he was tweeting about.
We literally cannot make jokes about this.
All right.
Like, you can't. Like he puts his disability in the post.
All right. Well, can we make fun of the Commanders?
Yeah, let's please. That's always fun.
This is the aerial view of their stadium with the Commanders logo. Still looks like a damn trash heap.
Why does the grass look so bad? Is it supposed to
Because
look like
the stadium
camouflage?
is a junk spot.
I think it's supposed to look like camouflage. You got some light brown spots, some green, some yellow.
And that is a field that hasn't been used in months.
Isn't that where the people fell off there and fell off?
Yeah, that's like the knee graveyard. Yeah, no, that's where the fans fell out of the stands. But there's like a spot where like 4 different players have blown knees.
This place is called a place of the bone collector. Listen,
it's awful. It's awful.
I mean, the name doesn't look as bad spread out. I don't know. I don't think very much of them. I think that was trash can juice. Oh, it's worse than the vet. Didn't they blow the vet up?
They blew that thing right up.
Damn, they should have kept that. They could have loaned it to Washington.
All right, this isn't a shenanigan as much as it is an appreciation post.
Oh,
so we're going baseball for a second here because I love Mike Trout. But the fact that this man can do this, so he is going to check a swing here and hit a home run.
Right field, into the corner goes Joyce, and
Are you
it
kidding me?
is gone.
He did not swing his bat. Watch this again.
Isn't he a Philly Bull?
Yeah, he Millville, New Jersey. That is the extent of how far he swung.
Wow. That's
not shenanigan. That's just an appreciation post.
I mean, it's actually really remarkable what he was able to do.
Yeah, and Javier, yes, we do have to play there every season. More importantly, Carson Wentz and his bum injuries have to play there as well all season.
His knees are going to be shot by the time
he's going to end his career. And finally, this is a fun game that I'm going to play. Did they check the bat? Probably. So this is players who you thought would be a star in the NFL, and you have to pick the team that you would go with. And you can't see that at all.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So team 1, and you go straight down, is Joey Harrington, Reggie Bush, Charles Rogers, Byron Leftwich, and Tom Zbikowski. Sure. Team 2 is Trent Richardson, Tyler Bray, Michael Floyd, David Terrell, and Dennis Dixon. There's your Stiller. Team 3 is Matt Leinart, Darren McFadden, Robert Gallery, Mike Williams, and Michael Crabtree. 4 is Brady Quinn, Eric Crouch, Peter Ward, Jadeveon Clowney, and Marcus Mariota. And Team 5 is Dwayne Haskins, Percy Harvin, Paul Posluszny, Jimmy Clausen, and Damian Anderson. Who would you take if you were starting a team and you had to pick one of these guys, one of these sets of guys?
Man, first of all, I don't think this should be available to be done because it's got Haskins is on there. So he's automatically not going to be a part of mine. I guess Reggie Bush was actually good though, so I'm not really sure.
I feel like each of them had a player that was halfway decent. You know what I mean? Like as I look through this, like Reggie Bush, pretty damn good. Trent Richardson, pretty good. Darren McFadden, pretty good. Jadeveon Clowney, pretty good. And Percy Harvin, pretty good. So each team had somebody.
Michael Crabtree. Michael Crabtree wasn't bad.
And Mariota's still unproven down there at the bottom of Team 4.
Well, they said will be a star, though. And Jadeveon Clowney was technically a star in Seattle before all his shenanigans. So,
yeah. Jimmy Clausen next to him looking like a bad 2001 MTV music video.
I'm going to go ahead and take I'm going to take Reggie Bush in Team 1.
Team 1, you're taking Joey Harrington as your quarterback, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, I don't like Matt Lyon anyway, and I definitely don't like Brady Quinn. So he was the worst of the two evils, and I can't take their Dwayne Haskins just out of respect because I don't want to.
Right, and again, I do feel like since it's been a couple weeks, this may have happened. I may have found this now April 26th. It was still after, so
yeah, I'm going to leave him off the list.
Yeah, for sure. So Matt's saying Team 3, Javier saying Team 2. Between Brady Quinn, Eric Crouch, and Marcus Mariota, you got to hope that one of them can play quarterback. I think that, Team 5 is a pretty good team because of Posluszny. I thought he was going to be much better than he was. I'm going to probably go Team 3 because at least you have all the pieces that you need. Whereas the other teams are like, here's 2 quarterbacks, here's 2 this, here's 2 that. I'm probably going to go with Team 3.
But they're showing Byron Leftwich as a coach. So I'm assuming that they're taking one. You get Byron Leftwich as your coach, and I would love to have Byron Leftwich as
and give me Team 1, but you still have Joey Harrington, and that's inexcusable.
Dude, but you got some. I mean, you still got Reggie Bush, though, dude. That
doesn't matter. You have Joey Harrington, who is one of the worst quarterbacks in the history of the game.
Bro, all you have to do is be check down king. With the
he couldn't even do that. Bush. Remember, Joey Harrington came to the Eagles.
I know who he was.
Joey Harrington played time at the Eagles, so I have seen it. I have seen the lay, and I am done with it.
Listen, he's no worse than Carson Wentz.
No, thank you. All right, listen. I've had just about enough of this. The Sixers got their ass kicked. Anything else you want to contribute?
Oh, look out for the rest of the week. Thursday night, we're going to be having our on the 2DN podcast LLC. We're going to be having a NFL town hall where people are going to get to call in, State of the Union. It's going to be with all our major guys. If you would love to come, you're more than welcome to come.
Yeah, I think I could pencil you in for some time.
Yeah, we just do a State of the Union. What you think about the picks of everyone? I'm going to finally tell what I really think about the Steelers picks. Break them down piece by piece.
Yeah, you were a little reserved tonight.
Yeah, I kept it kind of low key. I don't want to give away too much, but I'm definitely going to go off about my Steelers and how I'm feeling right about now.
Someone's home from Tennessee.
Oh my God, is that T?
He's home from Tennessee. She just got home.
T from Tennessee.
Now.
T from Tennessee.
That's right.
T from Tennessee.
Are you guys live?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I literally just walked in the door right now. Where are the dogs?
Nathan's in bed.
I'm gonna go see them.
All right. So I'm going to get off the air because my wife just got home. Listen, a lot of great sponsors, a lot of great things. All the sponsors are in the link for the bio. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for the great comments. Javier, Matt, everyone. I mean, Adam, we always appreciate you. We love having the conversation. Sixers on Wednesday. Hopefully they can do something. I don't think they will, but hopefully they can do something.
Sixers in the off season. Not Sixers at 6, not Sixers in the off season.
Yeah, well, they were already in off season mode tonight. So with that being said, it's been real. It's been fun. Hell, it's been real fun. I'm Chip at Chip for the Birds. This
And
is
I'm Drip.
JD at _Oracle. And we'll catch you on the flippity flop. Peace out.